John.
I'm Joe.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Connor.
And I'm Michaela.
And we are Tilt Factor. As athletes, we've encountered a problem with aerated water coolers such as the one shown in this photo. We have realized that when the water level reaches a certain point, it is too low for all the liquid to come out of the cooler. This is a problem that wastes time, money, and efficiency. These coolers are typically pretty heavy, so it takes several people to tip them over. This wastes time during practice and games. And it also wastes about a quart of water each time you use the cooler.
And as Anna said, when the water level does reach a certain point, there's 1 to 2 quarts of liquid still left in the coolers. And this is alarming because there are over 1 trillion gallons of water that are wasted each year in the US alone. And this is a contributing factor. So not only is it an annoyance to tip the cooler, but you're also having a big environmental issue at your hand while wasting this water.
After we realized this was the problem we wanted to solve, we began to target places such as the YMCA, park districts, and golf clubs because we know these facilities use these coolers, and we wanted to see if they would find our stand useful.
So after contacting local businesses and local facilities in the area, we realized that 82% of these facilities use these coolers and that 77% of these facilities have this problem. They also brought up other problems to us, such as when you tilt the cooler, it's much more prone to leak and it will cause floor damage and wood damage for their gym floors. And also they have the problem of it's more costly when this water is wasted because they often forget about it, and when they use Gatorade powder along with the water, it's much more costly for them to waste this water.
So another question we asked was, what is the main problem you experience when you're not using our stand? So as you can see, a majority of our potential customers believe that it was a constant hassle, whereas some other problems where it required other people and it wasted water. So this question simply shows that there is a big potential market for us and that there are a lot of problems that arise when you're not using our stand.
So as of right now, our total market, as we said, we're targeting athletic facilities, and that's going to be the park districts and such. That's at 28.5 million. That's assuming all of these places would buy the stand. Our serviceable market is 20 million. That's about the 82% that actually have coolers that they would buy. In year one, we're looking to target around just the Chicagoland area, a little further outside in Illinois, and that's putting us at 383,000.
So once we figured out this was our problem we wanted to solve, we thoroughly researched to make sure there was nothing like our product, and we can say that there is nothing quite like our stand. The closest thing we found was a tripod that kind of held the cooler up, but there is nothing like our stand that will automatically tilt it forward to get this excess water out.
So our solution is a stand that automatically tilts water coolers forward when the water level is below the spout. This works because of a pivot point in the bottom base and springs underneath the top platform that will pull the cooler forward when the water level is low enough or when the cooler is light enough. And when it's heavy, it will sit flat on the stand. There's 3 pegs that hold the cooler in place so it doesn't fall off. And there's a cutout for a cup. We made 6 prototypes that are all made out of wood, and they only fit 5-gallon coolers currently. And we waterproofed them and spray painted them. But in the future, we would like them to be made out of aluminum. So with our 6 prototypes, we gave out 5 to different athletic facilities. 1 to the Cary Park District, to the Lake Zurich YMCA, the Palatine High School, the Barrington Park District, and my favorite place. We gave our stands to each of these places for 1 month, and we gave them a survey afterwards to see what could be improved and what they liked about our stand. My favorite place actually contacted us about our stand and asked if they could use it because they make their snow cone syrup in these 5-gallon coolers, so that extra quart is really important to them. This opened our eyes to more customer segments and small businesses who use these coolers.
The survey we gave them after they used our prototype was fairly successful. 100% of them thought it was useful, and the places would buy approximately around 4.
Our current marketing tactics are a trade show booth at either a park district trade show or athletic trainer trade shows. We would also like to get flyers and booths at different athletic events in the area just so we could display our product, show how it works, and how much easier it is to get the water out of the cooler. We also have a YouTube and Facebook that's linked on our temporary website that we have on Weebly. Our website just has basic information and a pre-order form for anyone who's interested in purchasing our product when we actually get it manufactured. And then we would like to buy an email list of all the athletic trainers in the country.
Our main selling point to our customer segments is that not only you're saving the environment and water, but you're saving money. This is because each quart of water is 30 cents. So if you use one stand a day for a year, you'll be saving around $220. So you'll be making your money back in less than 6 months, and even quicker if you're using Gatorade.
And throughout our MVP, we have contacted local businesses around the area and the region if they want to have their logo on our stand in order when these stands go out to these facilities in these high schools. And so far we have earned $245 through ad revenue that we are currently using to make more prototypes and have used to buy supplies for these prototypes.
So these are our startup costs. So for the inventory of our stands, it's going to be about $5,000. Our administrative costs will go towards our legal fees to get our patent, and this will be about $6,300. Our development costs will be for more CAD designs and a more advanced prototype, and that will be about $375. And our marketing for kiosks and brochures will be about $1,345.
So currently, right now, our price per unit is at $75. As Michaela said, the fact that we have it as high as we do is because the amount of money being saved is eventually going to go way over the amount that you're going to be paying for this stand. And we have our growth rate right now starting at 70% year 2, making its way up to 180%. That's based off the fact in years 3 or 4, we do plan on getting a distributor to market and sell on a wider scale, more nationwide. Right now, our cost per unit is $25.75. The $20 of that is going to be $20 per unit for a 1,000 stand basis, and then extra about $6 is packaging, shipping and labeling and such, and then a 65.7% gross margin. So right now our SG&A, our administrative costs, that's again our storage, our technology fees and such. That's going to be $7,000 in year 1, making its way to $287,000 in year 5. Our marketing, again, then is the kiosks, brochures, getting just us out on a wider scale to our customer segments. That's going to be about $1,700. We have a 10% sales commission. As of right now, we are our own sales team, so we would be getting that sales commission, but we are looking later on in the next couple of years to get a sales team to get a larger scale out. And then our total SG&A brings us to $21,000 year 1 and $700,000 year 5.
Throughout the year, we have created a business. We have shown we're committed to our ideas and are passionate about this. We have done this through putting in hours and days into creating our prototype, meeting with manufacturers, attending a business expo, meeting with a local, or presenting to a local group, and marketing to different athletic facilities and local businesses. If invested in, here are the next steps we would take.
In the future, we plan to get a utility patent as fast as we can so that we can reach out to larger corporations such as Great America, because we have found that there's a great market size in these types of theme parks and amusement parks, because at every line for every ride, they use a water cooler, and this can show very great potential for our business to expand to these types of larger corporations, but first we need that utility patent.
Once we get that patent, we plan to reach out to larger cooler companies such as Rubbermaid, Gatorade, and Igloo. Our main target would be Igloo because it'd be the most beneficial for them to have their advertisement and stand underneath the Gatorade cooler. If these larger companies do not work out, we still plan to self-distribute them and continue to reach out to service clubs.
So we're asking you, the investors, for $20,000. That's based on and you would get 50% equity based on a $949,000 post-money valuation, and we do have a 28 times money multiple, and we're looking to sell at around year 3 or 4 to Igloo or Rubbermaid.
To conclude, we are Tilt Factor, the company that will save you time, money, and efficiency while helping out the environment. Thank you.
Why aluminum?
When we talked with a manufacturing group, they recommended aluminum just because it's easier to manufacture, because for plastic we would have to get a molding, and it would cost too much, and for our stand it has to be waterproof, so aluminum is the best.
Especially for if we're staying in the U.S., like plastic would be cheaper if we were going to China or something, but since we're not there yet, when we have to stay in the U.S., it's better.
You could also say it's better for temperature moderation too.
Good answer.
I noticed in some of the pictures you had coolers of different sizes, have you considered that in terms of, I mean, I know that one was kind of big white one, and then the other one seemed like the standard Gatorade orange.
We've been working a lot right now with just the 5 gallons, so we have a base model just to figure out what we need to do and what we need to fix. But once we get a lot more of a concrete idea for our stand, which we've been getting very close to, we're going to start expanding to get 10-gallon coolers and to get a wider range.
But
The value prop doesn't seem to make sense to me. First of all, is it really 30 cents for a quart of water
Yes.
to fill this in? I mean, I guess that might be true if it's bottled water, but do amusement parks and sports facilities literally pour bottled water into these things, or they just go to the fountain and, turn on the faucet and fill up the water, which is a much, I would imagine, a lower price point than 30 cents.
When we did the research on it, it said 30 cents, but we could look into it again to see if it'd be like different, because
Yeah, and a lot of our customer segments, like high schools and stuff, they have Gatorade, and that's 80 cents per quart.
Well,
or
see,
2
that's what I'm
quarts.
getting to. You did this experiment, which was really cool, and you found something out that the snow cone people really were the ones that called you and said, gotta have it. Because that value proposition is dramatically different. So any non-water use in these coolers seems to be the customer segment that at least I would encourage you to go after. The water segment has different characteristics besides the waste, like convenience and customer satisfaction.
One of the biggest problems, like one of the biggest customers that one of the biggest people who would benefit from this are the athletes that are tilting the cooler, and if the coaches want a more efficient practice, then all the athletes said they love this product. So that's the main reason why we came up with this, but the money factor is also just another important issue.
Yeah, so I would just encourage you to make your value proposition way more than just the money. There's a lot of convenience, a lot of ease in this. And if it is the money, I would make sure it's with coolers that are carrying things other than water.
Yeah.
To add on to, sorry, what Mike was saying, because I think the value proposition is really important at the price point that you're doing, 75, because that's how you're justifying that price point. You might go get the water bills of the actual people you surveyed and ask them what their monthly per gallon rate is. It's always itemized right on your water bill. So then you could do an actual real cost. But then I would add the Gatorade, because Gatorade is a popular drink and there's clearly costs a lot more, and that they are buying. So you could provide 2 or 3 different value points, water and Gatorade. Because I think it's that important to justify the price.
What was the exact methodology you used to establish the pricing?
Well, so we were starting originally around 30 because that's what places were saying they were gonna hit most for, but that was before they had even seen our product. We had just put out a survey asking them, what do you think about this idea? How much would you pay for it? And so we were at 30, but based on how much it cost at the time to make the stand, still how much it did, we weren't making enough of a profit, so we were looking at increase our price and still make enough of a profit. And we later found out, as we were researching, the amount of money being wasted, that you have about a quart of water, so at least in the 5 gallon, you throw that out, you're wasting 30 cents of water. You have multiple stands, that adds up. So that's when we got the pricing point. We asked around places, we paid $75, $50, and when we told them about the problem, they said, yes, we would. Thinking about that, how much we were going to be saving compared to losing, we would pay for that higher.
Did you try to sell the ones that you put in the establishments?
No, because the pegs aren't really that stable because it's not one solid unit. And that's also part of our price point. If it is made out of aluminum, it will last them a really long time. They're not going to have to purchase another one in a few years. So we didn't offer it to them because
Or
it
maybe
realistically
before.
wouldn't have.
Prototype.
And my favorite place, when they contacted us, they actually wanted to purchase our stand, but instead we worked it out to where they were gonna do some marketing for us on their Facebook page, because really what we wanted out of this was more results, to see what our customers wanted more than selling it right
What
now.
were they going to purchase it for?
That's,
$30.
$30, yeah, our main
And that's
price.
for the,
Oh, you told them 30, not 75?
no.
That was before we had started researching as much into that.
Did
So did they come up with the 30? I'm sorry, Brian. Did they come up with 30 or did you come up with 30? Where'd you get the
We
30?
came up.
We came up with the 30, but it was also, they took one of our surveys and we had different price ranges and they just thought 30 was the best.
After their experiences?
No, before their
No.
experience. Before they even tried.
mentioned, the money multiple to us would be 28 times.
The reason for that, so based on the fact that we do have a higher post-money valuation, we're not asking for a super large amount. It was only at 2.1%. So, and obviously because no one can be wanting a 2.1% equity, we put the 28 times multiple to get bump up to 15%.
Well,
Then the post-money valuation should hang together with the money that you're asking. If you're asking for $20,000 and 15%, the post-money valuation is not close to $1 million. It's closer to, what is it?
well, 20 divided by 0.15, it's $133,000 post-money valuation. If we're going to take 20% of the deal and get 15% equity. So your math is off there, and 28 times means that we get $560,000 back. If you're going to give us 28 times 20,000, when will you be selling the company and for how much, and in order to get us that type of money back?
We were looking at years 3 or 4, and that, like we said, that would be to Igloo or Rubbermaid because they're the ones with the stands. And I believe we were looking around somewhere. I'm not exactly sure at this moment.
Okay. All right, well, let's, probably some work needs to be done on the investment, the returns a little bit, given that the post-money valuation is a little off, but we can worry about that later.
Brian, do you have a question?
Did you say that the thing automatically copes based on the amount of fluid that's left in the?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
In a recent discovery, we didn't put in the presentation because it was so recent, but Sarah recently went to Six Flags and noticed that every single ride there was a Gatorade cooler. So yeah.
How did, after a month of use for the 5 vendors or customers, did you get the product back? Did you get the, how durable was it? Was there a lot of wear and tear? Were
Most
the
of them
pegs
were
broken?
intact. One facility broke the pegs off because they tried to fit a 10-gallon cooler, but we told them it was a 5-gallon
Purposely,
cooler.
yeah, they tried to.
And they said they would try to make it work, but.
And then they said it
broke
was like not working and sliding. I'm like, well, the pegs aren't there. So.
Doesn't take a PLT class.
Yeah.
But the ones, the park districts, the non-profit oriented, what was their experience like? Are they willing to buy this?
A lot of them in our survey were very positive in their feedback and they really liked our product. And they were definitely interested and said they would buy around 4, or depending on the facility, like park districts and YMCA's wouldn't really buy as many, or would buy more than like maybe like a high school, or it just depends on like what place.
So the $20,000, what product would you be going to market with? Would it be 5-gallon, 10-gallon, something different? Would it be wood, plastic, or aluminum?
We would want to have 5 and 10 gallon for sure, because those are the 2 most commonly used, and then we would want to have it made out of aluminum.
Okay, and for $20,000, you can make 2 products out of aluminum?
Just one, just the 5-gallon, for 1,000 5-gallon
Okay.
coolers. We haven't made like a prototype for the 10-gallon cooler. It's obviously going to be bigger, more material, so we haven't gotten a quote on that yet, just because we're still trying
So
to.
you had, I think, $7,000 for inventory or something,
It was 5,000.
$5,000 for inventory, and you believe you can make them out of aluminum for $25 a crack?
We're still getting more quotes, but currently it will be around that price. It might be a little more depending on who we go to, but this is.
Well, you had a pretty precise number, it's $25.75 for cost of goods sold. Was that out of wood?
That was.
The extra $5.75 was the prices we found for the shipping and packaging and such, not the actual.
No, just the, you had an additional $6 for that.
Yeah.
But the cost of goods sold assumption that you have in the presentation, was that made out of aluminum or wood?
That was for the $20, that was for made out of aluminum.
Aluminum. And so you've talked to a manufacturers that could do this in aluminum?
Yes, we got several quotes.
And you have quotes for that? Any last questions here?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I really like that. That's something that I know my coaches at Indiana would absolutely love. That would have been huge for our team. Yeah. So to find something that's not, that's very cool. You did really well. Yep. Gotcha. Okay.